I want to play this audio from a parent in Virginia who has been going to his school board over and over and over again, calmly saying, stop it. We have to have a plan to open the schools. Here's what happened this week, and it just went viral.
You should all be fired from your day jobs, because if your employers knew that you were more inefficient than the DMV, you would be replaced in a heartbeat. I literally just finished a conference call because I'm having to multitask to be here to address you guys. You're a bunch of cowards hiding behind our children as an excuse for keeping schools closed. You think you're some sort of martyrs because of the decisions you're making, when the statistics do not lie that the vast majority of the population is not at risk from this virus. The garbage workers who pick up my freaking trash risk their lives every day more than anyone in this school system. Figure it out or get off the podium, because you know what? There are people like me and a line of other people out there who will gladly take your seat and figure it out. It's not a high bar. Raise the freaking bar.
Now, as he was walking out, one of the school board members, and I want to quote this, one of the school board members said, please wipe this down the podium, wipe it down ahead of time. We don't want anything to infect us. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. These people are out of control. We have that dad on the phone now. His name is Brandon Michon. He is originally from New York. They just moved out of New York to come down to Virginia, and he finds himself in this situation. Brandon, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. I actually grew up in Loudoun County and, spent a lot of my professional career in New York before coming back because of COVID. So I am, a local here in heart.
So Brandon, I noticed that you were calm, and then you got to the garbage people that are picking up your trash, and you just exploded. Did something happen that you saw, like they weren't listening to you or not watching you, or did you was this just all pent up because of the number of times you've said this to them?
Yeah, I think it's a few things, right? I don't really think this is a political party issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't really care if you're red, blue, green, or orange. It's about the children. And I have to give a shout out to my wife and mother and the many others who've actually been involved with getting schools open longer than I have. I think, as you said early on, we've went numerous times and tried many different tactics, jingles, rhymes, pleading to open schools. But after, and you didn't see it in my video, but my 5-year-old daughter and 8-year-old son spoke before us. And,
wow.
I just had enough. And what I decided was I'd try a more stern tactic, which, is obviously resonating. But I just wanted them to pay attention because I didn't feel like they were paying attention.
I mean, I saw the video. I don't know if they were looking at you, but I've seen this kind of video over and over again. These people sit behind the dais and they just are disconnected from it. You speak, and they're like, your time is up, and then you have to leave. And it just, there seems to be, and I know this isn't true, but it seems to be that there's really no compassion and no science involved in this. Did you feel that way? Do you feel that way?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think what got me fired up was my son, my 8-year-old son, who's never really spoken publicly. He spoke on the virtual stuff before, but this first time in person, he was shaking a little bit. He was upset after we left because he said, I felt like I was being judged. And, it's hard because these are our educators and our mentors and the people who are supposed to be examples for our kids. And I've been numerous times, and not once have I heard the school board say thank you to these children who are, look, there's adults who can't even stand up in front of people with confidence.
Right.
And and just say, hey, thank you for your time, sir, or thank you, ma'am, and let them know that you don't have to agree with them, but let them know that you're doing something that it is intimidating and scary. And after months of doing this, I just, kind of just triggered something.
It's interesting because I don't know if you remember the Norman Rockwell paintings of the Four Freedoms, but one is a guy standing up, and it's the freedom of speech. And are you familiar with this painting by Norman Rockwell?
Yes, I believe so.
He's standing up to a school board, and in his pocket, it has the school board agenda in his pocket. So it's clearly him standing up and saying, look, we need some changes in our school. There's nothing more American, and yet I don't know what's happening here. Because as we were talking before you came on, the science is really clear. There aren't any scientists that are saying keep the kids home. There's no science that shows that the kids or anybody is in real danger at school. And the science also is on the side by keeping our kids out of school. We're doing significant damage to our kids. Why are they not doing anything?
Look, first and foremost, I think the vast majority of teachers, want to be back in school. I mean, they're in just as tough a situation. My daughter's kindergarten teacher, they're not supposed to be college online professors, so I think they're frustrated as well. I think the CDC came out with guidelines recently that have shown, and this is the people who are the professionals within, disease control, saying that there are mitigating factors that you can do, and the spread of this virus, albeit it's a horrible thing. I don't discount that. The spread of this virus can be mitigated through certain steps. And I think it's like a 12, or maybe it's more than that, 12 steps that have shown to be effective. And I just think all throughout the country, there are parents, and I say this because, I've been given a little bit of a voice as a conduit, if you want to call it, but I'm just a dad who cares about my kids. And there's fathers and mothers and caretakers all throughout the U.S. and world who care about that. And I think, parents are speaking out, and they just want to see solutions. And if anything, they just want to see a plan, and they want to see that plan attempted to be executed and not the goalpost moved.
So you said, there's a line of people out there. Why were they not in the committee room? And was it a line of parents that had the same kind of viewpoint that you did? And has there been any movement?
Well, yeah. Well, because of the guidelines, they only have the podium, and it's 30 feet away. It's a massive room. I think in a normal environment, that room's filled with chairs and people can go in and speak. They have you waiting out in the hall, socially distanced. And I'm out there with my 2-year-old, my 5-year-old, my 8-year-old, and my wife. And there's other families with kids that it's not getting attention as much. But there was a father with a special needs son who spoke a minute or two before us, and he signed up for both of them, and he wasn't given the time to speak for his son, who is a non-audible, special needs student. Well, look, if you're not willing to listen to your constituents, that was my point, right? Like, I personally am not running for office. This is just a father who cares, and there's other people who are out there who care as well. But if you're running for office, do something. And if you don't want to do something, there are people who will step up and do it. Leadership is hard. It's not easy. It's not fun sometimes, but leadership is what built this great nation. And I think that, if you're not up for the task, then let someone else do it, because people always forget there is someone who will step up.
Let me play that other father that you were just talking about. Here's the audio.
He has trouble standing still for 30 seconds for speaking in front of you. How can you expect him to sit in front of a computer every day, every hour, focus, and get an education? That's impossible. Impossible for him, and impossible for over 11,000 more kids who are special education with special needs in LCPS. But instead, you decide to sweep his problems under the rug and focus on giving raises, new mascots, renaming athletic fields, and a whole lot of PowerPoints.
Thank you, sir.
Across equity. I'm the next speaker as well.
Sir, you can only sign up for one spot, and I'm sorry. Is your name Upen?
Yes.
So we'll count that, and we appreciate you bringing your child.
So you're saying he cannot speak for himself, so I can't speak for him on his behalf?
Sir, you're the one who said he cannot speak on his behalf.
Exactly. So I spoke for his behalf till now, and I'm now speaking for myself. If I could.
Sir, I can only allow one speaker 1 minute, so I'm sorry, you'll have to...
Well, I just have to say then, if
Thank
you guys don't really vote for him, you're letting him down, and a lot of other
So-
Sir,
kids
I would
can't
like-
predict.
Brandon,
Follow-
1 minute. How do you even make a point in 1 minute?
It's hard. I mean, he was a couple people before me, right? And so I could hear him, and they buzz you. Like there's a buzzer. It's a loud thing. You know, they want to make it known that you're out. But look, I lived in New York for the last 10 years up until 6 months ago, and you know, it's a fast talking city. I can talk pretty quick, but trying to get your point articulate your point in 60 seconds is hard. I even stumbled. You know, you have a mask on, kids standing around, like. It's not easy, and we as a society need to have some compassion. And if we can't show as educators, and again, educators, mentors, and you know, school boards who are supposed to be the examples of that, if we can't have compassion, then who are we? And again, I just care about the children, right? This isn't about me. This is about the children and getting them back. And you mentioned earlier the mental health side of this is so much worse than anyone sees. Mike,
I know.
That was a handicapped father, right? I don't even know what he's going through. My 5-year-old daughter barely wants to sit in front of a screen. Adults don't want to sit in front of screens for that long. My 8-year-old's defeated, right? They just want to make friends. They're kids. There's valuable, seniors who didn't have graduations, third graders who didn't have kickball or field day. Like, there are valuable life experiences that we are missing. And there's just people who are not saying, here's a plan and let's execute it. And if you don't want to go, don't go. But for those who do, let them, and let the teachers who want to go back as well.
Amen. Amen. Brandon, thank you very much. Brandon Michon from Virginia, the parent that stood up at his school board and I think spoke for a lot of us who are parents. And I hope there are more of you standing up, and I hope you've inspired people to stand in their own community. Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks so much.
You bet.